Well, that was The Night Has a Thousand Eyes. And anybody out there? Hello. Oh, hi, Brad. Why is it so much Kid Poker 007? Hey, that's a cool name, man. Why is it harder to learn? Why is it so much harder to learn jazz vocabulary compared to blues? Well, hey, you know, what's the difference between a jazz guitar player and a blues guitar player? A blues guitar player plays 3 chords in front of 1,000 people. Jazz guitar player plays 1,000 chords in front of 3 people. So it's just a lot of stuff. It's a vocabulary, the jazz vocabulary just never ends. And it's just, it's just, there's certain things that you can learn. And then once you got it down, you can go a long ways with it. So just take it one step at a time. Trust me, it's not so bad. How do you compare Eastman 330, 345 guitar shapes to Heritage? I have a video on that, and if you compare thin line guitars, there's, they're just different. They're just different. The T59, a real sweet sounding guitar. So is a Heritage 535. Heritage 525 is totally underrated. It's a wonderful guitar. I've seen, a Conti guitar. I've never played it. I'm sure it's a great guitar. I've had, it's made by the Peerless Company, I believe. Bob Conte is a wonderful player, nice guy, nice guitar. So, Jazz Guy 68, just joining. Hi. Well, thank you for coming, everybody. Here we are again. I'm able to look at the messages now without cranking my neck. So I got a couple different shots here. Oops, that ain't it. Shoot, I forgot to get this. Where'd it go? Come on, man. There's one. I don't know why it's so choppy. But that's a cool little shot, isn't it? And then I got this one over here. So between the three little shots, we can have some fun. The Night in a Thousand Eyes the Night Has a Thousand Eyes, and it's not the one from the Bobby V one, So anyway, thanks. Thank you, Scott. Great new angles. Appreciate it. The audio sounds really robotic. Man, I just don't know what to do. I don't know why the audio sounds funky. You studied with Bob Conte for a while. Is that right, Brad? That's cool. I had Conte for two of our workshops, one or two. It's funny. I had Bob Conte and John Stoll at one of our workshops, and they mix like oil and water. And they're completely two different philosophies in playing and in teaching. And so it was needless to say, students got a couple of different perspectives. So anyway. a little moon dance. I have a lesson on that. Let's see, lots of players want to play double time lines when playing jazz standards, even if they can't do that when playing pentatonics with distortion in rock idioms. Wow, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Even if they can do that when playing pentatonics with distortion in rock idioms. Well, I tell you what, it's harder to play double time line in a swing rhythm and than it is if you're playing a funky. Everybody's playing 16th notes anyway, so it's a little easier to do it. But if you're playing a swing tune and now you're playing, especially if the tempo is like we're just playing, it's hard to play. It's hard to play. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. Playing double time lines is just hard, period. So, if you don't want to deal with double time lines, the best thing is to raise the tempo because it's impossible to play double time. The slower you play something, the more urge it is to play double time lines. And then if you can't do it, you're in deep doo-doo. Anyway. Yes, I've tried peerless guitars many times. I bought a 6-pack of peerless guitars one time in a box, when they were like $300 or something, it's cheap. I haven't tried the high-end peerless, but they always kind of just seemed a little flat to me. I don't know how else to describe it. The box didn't feel alive. So I don't know if that's that particular one that I got, but they make a nice guitar. They've got all the dimensions dialed in. The machines crank it out, and the only thing that is rough with a lot of the China built guitars, if you don't have binding, if you know what I mean, like binding here on the frets, where it goes over the frets, when the wood dries out, those fret ends stick out. And so you got these sharp ends, and you're playing, it's like, wow, that's real sharp. So you have to go through and file them down, so, and that's doable. It just takes time. Heritage and Gibson and a number of other companies put binding on the fret ends. So if the neck shrinks and then the frets obviously don't shrink, if the ends stick out, you won't feel them. Okay, let's see. Great one-man band. Thank you. You don't see it here. I got a bass drum and I got a tambourine between my legs, and and I boop, boop, boop. Yeah, I got it all going. Yes, these are flat wound strings. That's what I like to play. That gives you the jazz sound. You don't get that sound there too, so flat wounds are good. Eddie Van Halen, isn't that a tragedy? Really sorry to hear that. I don't know how to play any Van Halen stuff, and I wouldn't even attempt it, but it's too bad. I guess nobody's getting out of here live. So you better make plans. guys know this one? Come on, note. Anyway, yeah, just the way you look tonight. Good call, Brad. Good ears. Poor Eddie Van Halen, too young. Yes, absolutely. Sinatra, can you talk about a new jazz course path you released, as you mentioned in an email? Yes, I'd be happy to. So, as I've discovered over the 50 years I've been teaching, is it's hard to teach improv. And you have to define really what is improv. Is it playing this scale over that? Is it this arpeggio over this? Is it that over this? What is it? Well, it's a vocabulary, right? And improvisation music is the reorganization of something you already know how to play. So you have to input to get some output. So I've learned that concept. The problem is the input is, if you transcribe, a lot of people say, oh, you got to transcribe. Yeah. Well, it takes a lot of work to transcribe. I'll tell you that right now. You probably know that. You sit down and try to transcribe a solo, and it's tough. Now, my teacher, Charlie Shoemate, was a very excellent teacher, but his students he had some very successful students with saxophone players and horn players and people who could read. When I went to him, I could read. So he would give me solos, Charlie Parker solos and stuff. And Sonny sit and say, go home, learn to play this and play it in 3 keys. And it's like, well, I was able to do it. Matter of fact, just recently he said I was one of his, he said he's got 2 guitar students that were about the only 2 that ever could do anything. So, but I realized that that's how you learn, because, man, that's how I learned quick, because I was screwing around with the scales and doing this and arpeggios and this, and that's all well and good, but it's not music. Phrasing is so important. Okay, so here's my philosophy. You take a jazz standard and you learn how to play the melody. And when you play the melody, you don't just play the melody, and you learn to play the melody with finesse. You learn to also play it in octaves. You also learn to play it in chord melody. And so when you play the melody, you're mixing it up. You're not just playing, reading the notes. You're playing it with hammers and pull-offs and slides. You play it, and that is improvisation. You're improvising the melody, okay? And that's really important right there. So you interpret the melody the way you feel, but you have the ability to do it because you've woodshedded it. You've played played it down there, you've played it up here. You learn to mix it up with chords and all that stuff. That's number one. Number two is when you learn the chords to the song, you just don't learn, I mean, that's all well and good for the melody. When somebody's blowing the melody and you're comping, you're playing rhythm guitar. But now it comes time to actually comping the guitar. So comping means creating melody with your chords. So if somebody's playing, you're going. So you learn to play a chord arrangement so it's tasteful and it's expressive and it's meant to be rearranged. And that, in other words, you'll be improvising on that. Now let's get down to the solo. So now I'll take a solo and I write out a solo and I show you exactly how to play it. So for guys who can't read, and then we talk about playing it with finesse. All right, so we learn the solo to, let's say, blue bossa, okay? Now I'd say, okay, let's take these notes and we're going to examine exactly what I'm playing here, okay? In other words, I'm playing a C scale, but here I'm soloing around a D7, and here I'm soloing around a G7, and back to C, and then to C dominant, flat 9, okay? We point out all those things. Then we take, and then you learn a rearranged solo. So now I say, okay, look at, you already got that one solo down. Now let's take these notes, and I've rearranged those notes for you so you can see how we've taken. Now we're going. I've rearranged it, right? I just improvised on something I already know how to do. All right. Now, your job is to write it out. You write one out, and actually you can send it to me, and I'll check it out. Okay? So that's the deal. Now you get the student right away starting to compose his own solo. Now, when you compose a solo, in the beginning, you're thinking, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? And I try to encourage you to hurry up and just do something and then learn it. Write it out and then learn your solo. Or you can labor over the notes, that's fine. But what it boils down to is later on, when you start improvising, you're creating on the fly from stuff you already know how to do. Okay, so the more you do it, the first time you do it, it might take you an hour. The next time you do it on the next song, it might take you half an hour. The next one, it might take you 15 minutes. Then only 5 minutes, and you can whip through it. You could actually glance at the notes and just kind of make up your own stuff. So now you are really doing jazz improv. Now, I don't want to blow off the importance of scales and arpeggios and all that stuff, because those are the components. Those are the push-ups a football player does. They don't say 1, 2, 3, hike and do sit-ups, right? But it made them stronger. So that's the philosophy, and we do it with 6 songs. Whew. Does that sound like fun? I think it's going to be. I've done it with some guys already, and they're excited about it, and I think it works out really well. Okay. Eddie was a real innovator. Thank you for asking that question. Whether one enjoys that style or not, a kid in my straightest style going back, ladies, I was more into Peter Green and Jimmy Page. To play anything well takes a lot of talent, time, and skill. Are you reading charts on any of those tunes called or by memory? It's by memory. I found throughout my years of obsessing over jazz that you have to listen and read as much as you can. The more I learn, the more I discover what I don't know. That's true. That's true. Ignorance is bliss. One of the things that we try to encourage people at our camp is to make the most amount of music with what you already know how to do. In other words, do you have to learn all these new scales and all this? Yes, but not today. Okay, yeah, I got to know about them, but take what you already know how to do and let me help you make music with that. Okay, so you get the idea that you take when you think about how did jazz start. Here you got. Take an old Dixieland tune, right? So what did the guys do? They went. Improvised on the melody, right? They improvised on the melody, man. So it wasn't until, later on in the late 40s and the 50s that the scale idea came in and people were blowing scales and stuff like that. It was all riff based. So why did I get on that tangent? Do I have a lesson on playing blue bossa? Boy, do I. And that's one of the songs that's going to be in the new course. So, and that'll be out, I hope, next week. So, Jazz Night, Nympho, Neophyte. Okay, Nympho. Oh, excuse me. It will be challenging. Okay. Thank you, Robert. I do remember a lesson you did with me at GIT. It was on Miles Davis tune-up. I learned the chord melody or yours and the licks you had written out. Right. I still know those licks, I think. One of the teachers, his name was Joe, he asked, where did you get those licks? I told him Rich Severson. Is that Joe Elliott? Yeah, so, it takes, here's the other thing about licks. Learning licks is wonderful, okay? But you got to know where to plug them in and how to make them work, okay? So sometimes you need some more skill, and that's why I like the idea of a complete solo. Anyway, I feel like I'm talking to myself. I keep turning on the air. I hope this doesn't drown out everybody, but hey. Well, I'm going to play, let's see, have I answered everybody's question? I hope so. Yes, Joe Elliott, nice guy, huh? There were so many nice, you know what? I got to tell you this. Most players are really insecure about their playing. They just are. And it's hard to get over that. It's hard to be comfortable in your own skin. And we're all frauds waiting to be discovered, as somebody had said that. I forget who. But anyway, that's how it is, because there's a big gap between where you are and where you want to be. So there were a lot of wonderful guys at GIT, and most everybody was really humble. And that's what I liked about that. Let's see. Here is a song, and it's called What is it called? It's called Twisted Rhythm, and it's on that Jumpin' Java album that I have. And I have it in here. Oh, yeah. God, I forgot how it goes. I haven't played this in months. Go. Ta-da! Yeah, so that's called Twisted Rhythm, and it's on Spotify. On the Rich Severson Jazz Quartet. I think it's on there. Jumpin' Java album. Okay, Brad, you could let's see one thing. Conti taught me. Think of the four chord as one on a 2-5-1 progression. Think of the four. Play the progression of the four chord. You get a ton of licks out of that. Huh, cool. You could really live any year, it would be my year at GIT. Well, that's good. Good to know. Hi, Gregory. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I used to feel sorry for these kids. When you look at the brochure for coming to GIT in it's Hollywood, downtown Hollywood. In the brochure, it's got beautiful pictures of palm trees and the beach and sun shining. It's beautiful. And then these kids from Iowa and Sweden, they come over and here's GIT, and you got about 15 homeless people living over here behind this dumpster. You got these hookers way over here. You got this burned out looking place over here. It wasn't pretty. It didn't look anything like the brochure. Luckily, you got into the school and you could close the doors. Anyway, I'll bet it was an experience. So let's see. What do you guys want to do? So is the sound coming through okay? I love this song. You know this song? Yeah, smoke gets in your eyes. Wes Wilson. What's happening, Wes? I named my son Wes. How to get a good sound when recording? I don't know. I just go direct. A friend of mine built me a preamp. His name is Ray Lotvala, and he's on Facebook. And I've been using that a lot. And it's just like the front end of a Fender Bassman amp, vintage. I've been using that, but when recording, I don't know, half the time I just go direct. It's hard. Getting a good sound. That's why I really admire some of these studio cats that can really get a wonderful, good sound. It's crazy. I don't know how they do it. Anyway, let's see. There was a couple of things that I thought, what we ought to do is talk about a couple of musical ideas. And I'm thinking, what the heck would they be? Everybody understand flat five substitutions? You know that? Charles Wesley. You wrote all those hymns, huh? Yeah. What? Okay, so you understand tritone substitutions. Good. Do you find yourself or prefer playing a two pickup or single? That's a really good question. Um, I go back and forth, but I tell you, I think you get a better sound live playing louder with a two pickup, just because it holds down the top a little bit and you don't get as much vibration. But if you want a pretty sound in the studio, one pickup sounds good or at real low volume. So, it's everything matters on a jazz guitar. Everything. You wouldn't think it does, but it does. Right down to what shoes you're wearing, how you're holding it, what car you got to the gig in. I mean, it's crazy. The room, the amp, your position, and then your perception of the guitar, the way it's sounding. Because what you hear is not always what people are hearing. So, number one, you got to be comfortable. You got to be. If you're not comfortable with the way things sound, then it's going to be like walking with a pebble in your shoe. Just something's wrong. Lee Ritenour is a son named Wes. I knew I liked that guy. I just met him recently. Just briefly, John Pisano introduced me to him. Lee did a celebration of John Pisano at the Baked Potato, and that was very cool. There was Lee Ritenour. Of course, Lee was the bill. They put that because they know he's the drawing power, but he humbly said, "This isn't about me. This is about John. This is, I'm just here just like you guys want to honor John." And that Mitch Holder was there. Oh gosh, I'm going to leave a bunch of people out. Tom Rotella. Anyway, it was a really great night, and I drove down there, and my wife and I went. We brought a couple friends with us. It was really fun, and this was before COVID, obviously, but right before it. So I'm glad that happened. And so John introduced me to Wes, to Lee Ritenour. I said, "Man, I've loved your playing since Captain Fingers." He says, "Oh, geez." So it was real nice. Mitch is good friends with him. He lost his home in the fire, the Malibu fire last year. Bummer. Archtops, yeah, are temperamental, aren't they? something like that. Debbie Daly is here. Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Can I play They Can't Take That Away From Me? Yes. Sure, I'd love to, Brad. Let's see. Here's Joe Pass's intro. Joe Pass inspired, yes. Hold on here. Wait a minute. Where'd my angle go? I catch myself looking at my fingers. It drives me nuts. Bingo. Hey, I got a gig. Went out to dinner the other night and went to this restaurant. It was real good. And I just asked, hey, do you guys ever hire any music? And they said, yeah, we're just starting back to hiring some music. And so I said, well, hey, I play guitar, you know. They don't know who I am. I play guitar and I do instrumental music. Oh, yeah? Yeah. So I said, well, here's my card. If you ever, look at my website and see if, and he said, oh, cool, great. I've got 3 dates. When could you do it? He gave me like, take your pick of these 3 dates. I need somebody. So, okay. So it's next Friday night. Kind of funny. So you never know, right? So, thank you, guys. So Debbie, yeah, so I got a gig, Debbie. So when you and Steve get bored, come on over. I love that tune. The way I love the lyrics of you, They Can't Take That Away From Me. And that, I mean, when you study those lyrics, and it's so cool how it kind of like, hey, they can't take that away from me. They like everybody's taking everything else. It's a depression song. You've lost a lot of other things, but the way you hold your knife, the way you sip your tea. I mean, come on, that what lyrics that are beautiful. Hi, Kirby. Debbie Daly. Yeah, Debbie Daly's just such a fine singer. Fred Rogers song, It's You I Like. I don't know. I saw that Fred Rogers, that movie. I thought it would really be about Fred Rogers, but it really wasn't. It was kind of his interaction with the journalist. It was interesting. The way we danced till 3. Yeah, isn't that cool? Cool lyrics. So much pictures, right? Let's see. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. You know, Debbie Daly and I were in a band with her husband, Steve, wonderful sax player, and the leader was Joe um, Lenigan. And what a fantastic band. Joe Lenigan, Bob Berthold on vocals, wonderful, wonderful singer. Fun stuff. Did we do Lady Bird last week? You guys know Lady Bird? It's like I'm waiting for you to say something. Hey, let's do this. Is that you? The track screwed up. I didn't want to do that anyways. Hungry Hunter. Half Nelson. I used to know that song. I couldn't hum it to you now if I was my life depended on it. Lady Bird. Hungry Hunter. What are you saying, Kirby? Are you go back to Newbury Park at the Hungry Hunter? By the way Lady Day sings, You Can't Take Away From Me, hits you in places you never know you had. Love Billie Holidays. Yeah. Killing Me Softly. Yeah, but it didn't seem to work out there. You went to Vietnam. Thanks for serving, buddy. I had a lot of friends that went there. I don't know the theme from MASH, but I gave the kid who wrote the lyrics to the song "Suicide Is Painless." He his dad produced it, and I gave the kid the guitar lessons. Also gave the son of Duck Dunn guitar lessons. Isn't that funny? Also, okay, Barry Swag, he gave Buddy Rich's daughter guitar lessons. Isn't that funny? Go to their house and give them guitar lessons. Yeah, I'm glad we did this thing because that something happened to that track. If I ever try to use that, just when you think you got it licked, it just drips all over you. Tangerine. Didn't you get enough of that? I don't know that, Debbie. Sorry, man. I got my own joke going on here. I got you to scoff. Burt Bacharach. Wow, Duck Dunn is one of my musical heroes. Yeah, he lived in Lynn Ranch in Thousand Oaks, and his son became a engineer. You know, a song I've been kind of haunting me is. I don't know it, you know. Anyway, out of those chains that bind me, those binding chains. Let's see, where's Ladybird? There we go. Anyway, Lady Bird, that's a great little tune. Let's see, Debbie Daly. Let's see, where are we at here? Hit the road, Jack. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back. Wrong key. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back. You no more, no more, no more, no more. And don't you come back no more. Really, Debbie? Oh woman, don't you treat me this way. A mean old woman. Da, da, da. Tell me, does Steve sing that? Or you sing that to him, don't you? I love that. I love that. I just got I got about 10 Ray Charles albums. When it comes to tone, with all things being equal, as far as woods used to build the instrument, same pickup, same amp, do you get the same sound from a 16-inch versus 17? Good question. No. How is it that you just get better? Oh, thank you, Debbie. It's drugs. Duck is my bass hero. Yeah, 17-inch, you got it's guitars are weird, man. You got this thing, sound bouncing around inside there, and it's just weird. So yeah, 17-inch is not always better. It depends on what you're going to do it for. I think I've talked about this before. You can have a big fat L5 and it sounds fantastic in the studio. I mean, just big, fat, beautiful sound, or at low volume. You get it on stage with a lot of noise going around you, it sounds kind of crappy because you're not getting the nuances of the instrument. So you know what I mean? So there's guitars. That's why you need 30 or 35 guitars. You see, I've never. Let's see. I didn't know Wichita Lineman was actually about the Vietnam War, wasn't that? Am I thinking of that one? No, Galveston. Galveston is about the war. Excuse me. What are your thoughts on the new Tone Block 202? Have to replace my old Fender Deluxe soon when my plane warrants my wife and an arch top. Well, the Tone Block 202 is wonderful, wonderful amp. It's great. The old Fender Deluxe, look into one of these, man. The Micro Pro, especially with an arch top, 200 watts, 8-inch high-end speaker. You can't beat it. Yeah, remember the night in Visalia when Bob didn't show up? And yes, and you and I covered the vocals. I do. Very superstitious, writing on the wall. I can't. Yeah, that's funny. What else did we do? I don't know. It's cranking out Stevie Wonder. That was fun. You know, I would like to sing, but when I listen to it myself, it's like I always say to people, they always say, do you sing? And I say, I used to sing a lot, but once I quit, I started working all the time. Of course, I remember, Debbie. What was the other one? Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy. I think we're losing some people here. Well, look at it's almost time to go. So I tell you what, want to thank you guys again for showing up. I really do. It's real nice of you, Brad. We're going to have to do a. We're going to have to do that Zoom thing. What do you mean I'm dying, Debbie? I need to talk to you actually about your rheumatoid because you've licked it. So let's see. Let's end with a tune, I suppose. Shall we? Hey, I got a tune here. I hopefully this will work. Oh, wait a minute. Something just caught my eye. Let me see. Nah, no thanks. You know, when I look at this song list, it's like going to a restaurant and you're not hungry. Nothing looks good. What am I looking for? I don't even know what I'm looking for. Oh, yeah. Let's do this. We've done it several times. I like it. And this concludes our evening tonight with the song stylings of Rich Severson. Is that coming through? What is the thing to say? My fingers never left my hand. But isn't that a great tune? Love it. Yes, yes, you're right. Now there's a lick you can take to the bank. I sure will, Deb. Say hi to Steve for me. Thank you guys for showing up. Yeah, next week we'll play some Christmas stuff, you know. Okay, thanks again, guys. I'll talk to you later. Adios.